The Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised. The Full Melt.
Well, the folks who handle all the statistics in Colorado will tell you they have no hard and fast numbers as to what's happening as far as marijuana tourism. They can't tell you whether people are coming to town or coming to the state just to partake. But there is some anecdotal evidence. We've heard that up in the ski areas, up around the ski resorts, the dispensaries up there are selling 90% of their marijuana product to people from out of state. So it seems that people are coming to the mountains for more than just a ski break.
Could you spot tourists like you might see in wine country, for example?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we shot a bus that takes people around on a tour.
So our first stop today is going to be LeConte's Grow.
So the interesting thing is, as a tourist, you can go and you can buy marijuana. The trouble is, it's very difficult to find a place to legally consume it.
So they're smoking in the bus?
They are smoking in the bus.
And where are they going?
They'll go into a place that's got a big factory full of marijuana. They'll go to stores. It's like a sort of a smoke and ride tour of Denver.
Colorado is also attracting a new wave of residents, all of whom want to benefit from a lucrative and budding industry, like entrepreneurs Lisa and Joel Schneider.
They're a very interesting couple from Long Island, New York. Joel used to be a lawyer who worked in finance.
This is your morning coffee. This is to go to bed with. It's called indica.
And they saw this happening in Colorado.
It's a brand new business. No one's ever done it before.
So they came up with this idea. Bud and breakfast.
Bud and breakfast.
Not bed and breakfast.
No, you're in Colorado. It's a bud and breakfast.
What do you offer your guests that they can't get at any other hotels?
We have a wake and bake breakfast.
What is that?
Wake and bake breakfast is twofold. First off, we put out 3 strains, samples of marijuana for our guests to start their day off the right way. And then Lisa and her staff prepare an amazing breakfast. I mean, it's 3-course breakfast. And the guests sit here eating up the food and enjoying the samples.
They eat a lot.
Yes. Especially when they go to the Wake and Bake bar first, and then they eat afterwards.
They had sort of jokingly talked about their dream would be to open a bed and breakfast in upstate New York. They just chose a different part of the country to do it. But Lisa had the passion for entertaining and cooking, and Joel had the passion for pot, and they married the two, and voila, the bed and breakfast.
Who is your typical client? Who are the clientele?
You, us, just regular, everyday people. Anywhere from 25 years old to 75 years old. People that you would just look at and you would say, I can't believe they smoke pot. Like, I would never think they smoke pot. And they do.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
It's the Full Melt.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. FullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
Oh no, what happened? There it is. Oh, I thought I missed my cue. You gotta have the opening music. Plus, the rest of the show is for naught. Welcome to the Full Melt Radio Show. This is Steve Green. I'm here Monday through Friday, entertaining you with interests of national concern wrapped around the issue of cannabis. Today, we want to talk about an incident. I've got an inside note for you. Hang on to that thought about what we're talking about, because we know we're talking about cannabis tourism. But at the open of this show, ever since the program's inception, you've heard that "Are you high?" thing at the very beginning. Are you high? That guy? I'll have to pull it out. I'm going to see if I can pull it out in between the breaks here and see. I'll play it by itself. I want to know if you can figure out who that guy is. Does anybody know who that guy is? The "Are you high?" guy. So, cannabis tourism. What is cannabis tourism? Well, it seems rather self-explanatory, doesn't it? But can you do that? Well, you know, in Colorado they can, amongst other places. What I haven't delved into today, because I did a lot of research for this show, what I haven't delved into is the other places. I know there's a little bit like out Seattle way in Washington, But Washington's all screwed up now, aren't they? I mean, Washington is just a mess. The medical people are all pissed off because the governor signed some bill saying that we're going to eliminate all of the medical marijuana establishments out in Washington state. And here's the problem with that. I mean, you know that Washington's one of these states that legalized cannabis, right? But part of when they passed that bill was, what they'd like to do is make sure that local communities have control of this issue, which is kind of the way it should be, I guess. And in doing so, a lot of the local communities to recreational marijuana in Washington state said, no. We don't want that here. Go to the big city, go to Seattle, go to someplace like that, and you'll find your medical marijuana. But a lot of the local communities said no to the retail marijuana. I'm sorry, not medical marijuana, retail cannabis. But when they originally set up the medical marijuana program in Washington state, they didn't, a lot of the local communities didn't say no to the pot shops because there was no description in the law for them. They just kind of opened up, like they did in many places across the country that have tangled with this issue. And when they did that, they said, okay, well, we can understand. We'll let the medical guys have access to their medical marijuana. It's just for the medical guys. Now that the governor has signed this bill in Washington state that says that we're eliminating all of the medical marijuana shops. So what that does is the local communities that said no to retail cannabis, because remember, now you got to go there to get your medical marijuana if that's what you're getting. You got to go to the retail store now. But a lot of the local communities that said okay to the medical marijuana shops said no to the retail shops. And so now you got guys all angry because they don't have safe access anymore. They got to go back to the black market or travel way out of town to get something. Washington is a big state. Not that many great big cities. And so you've got some issues with regards to access. And people are angry out there. In Colorado, they're not tangling with that like that. They did have some issues, a little bumpy road with, switching from medical to retail with regards to supply. They had more demand than they had supply. Imagine that. Go figure. Mostly because they just let the medical guys start out growing for the retail people. And then they slowly started bringing some other people online. It took a while to get the infrastructure, the people. Remember, when they grow in these places, there's a lot of cameras. It's tracked like seed to sale in the medical place. So there was a bumpy road for Colorado, but it was just about access. And then you'll notice in the High Profits show that we had Brian and Caitlin on. If you've been following that on CNN, and I hope you are, because it's a fascinating story about their take on what's going on. Everybody knows that they're making marijuana money out in Colorado. Now it's about strategy and the big dollars. And Brian and Caitlin are all about that. And so we were happy to have them on the program here a week ago or so. And now they're into week 3 coming up next Sunday. But tourism in Colorado seems to be the thing. There's look, I opened up a page. I think I still got it here open. Let me just pull it up. It's like 25 or more establishments that are that are retail. Good Lord, that are tourism oriented. There's a whole bunch of them. I mean, a lot. And incidentally, on the open of the program, I want to give credit to 60 Minutes Overtime. I pulled that piece. Back in February or so, they did a revisit because when they did the initial retail cannabis thing out in Colorado, 60 Minutes did a big expose. Hey, they're going to sell pot now in Colorado. You can just go to the store and get it. They made a big deal out of it. They had a big episode about that. And then a year later, they went back and revisited, and that was in February this year. They played that episode. But there was like a 60 Minutes Overtime piece. And they happened to start talking about tourism, which they really didn't cover in the main piece that they aired on the air. And so I want to give credit to 60 Minutes for that overtime piece. And incidentally, one of the people that is featured on that program, Mr. Joel Schneider from the Bed and Breakfast, it's really a Bud and Breakfast, will be on this program a little bit later on in the program. After the commercial break, we'll come back with somebody else that's involved in the industry with regards to tourism. We'll talk to Mr. Eric Pine from Green Trips. Now, Green Trips is one of these places that I looked up, and I'm still trying to find it here. Bear with me because I'll find it. But these private marijuana tours, Green Trips Seems to be one of the cooler places that I found. But there was like 25 of them, it seemed. Just trying to still check and see if I can find some more of these. I don't know where they went. There was a bunch of them. I might be looking in the wrong place. Suffice it to say that there were at least 20 establishments in the first year that opened up around tourism. And I'm sure that there's going to be some, obviously, that are better than others. I'd like to know if I'm going to dial for dollars here and get on the phone and book some kind of, hey, I'm flying into Denver. Can you pick me up? What's the deal? How much does it cost? Where do we go? You know, what can I do? What can't I do? I want to find the best place for my dollar. And this, cannabis touring thing, best cannabis tours. There's a bunch of them. I mean, there's a whole crap load of them. I just wish I could locate it because I can't find them. I toggled around too much on the internet. That's what I did. I'm probably looking in the wrong place. It doesn't matter. There's a crap load of them. And some of them, it seems like they might be doing, less than professional things with regards to the way they handle their clientele. You might have a guy that'll drive you around the back of his personal car. I wouldn't consider that really hospitality. It's more of a Craigslist invitation to go tour some pot places in Denver proper or in Colorado as a whole. But if some guy picked me up in his, CRZ or something, and I had to sit in the back seat, I wouldn't feel real comfortable that I gave this guy money for my tour. It seems like there's some more professional people. So I wanted to feature some of the higher end of the business as I could research it online. Because that's, of course, all I could do from this standpoint. And that's what we'll be talking about on the show today. Very interesting topic. To me, it's a fascinating idea that, hey, in this state, now we got medical marijuana in Michigan where this show originates from. We're in suburban Detroit. That's where the studio's at. But if I was, say, in Ohio, where they're trying to get something done, or in Pennsylvania, where they're really working hard just through the legislature because they don't even have a method to do this through a ballot petition in Pennsylvania, it's got to go through the legislature. And they're working hard to get that done there. But if I'm in one of those two states and I want to do the cannabis tourism thing, I can do it. I can fly into Denver and people will pick me up in a private limousine. And so after the break here, we'll talk to Eric Pine and find out from him about what this is and what this isn't and what they offer out in Colorado as it relates to tourism. It's the Full Melt Show. You're getting the Full Melt.
They're parasites. They've got no contribution to this society. They're preying on our community and our kids. It's going to end badly.
We've got exactly $100,000 in cash in the back of this car. I bet there's guys right there in that prison for doing just what we're about to do.
I want the Breckenridge Cannabis Club to be a household name.
This is us pioneering a new industry.
He's going after every resort town in Colorado. His plan is brilliant.
This is a big boy operation now.
We are not the Amsterdam of the Rockies. We're Breckenridge.
Absolutely unbelievable to us that this has happened so quickly.
That's when the town erupted.
All hell can break loose.
I think we have an image to protect.
The powerful elite has definitely put the pressure on.
Everyone is playing everyone.
They're going to have a target painted on their back.
That is a real threat.
There's $2 billion to be had next year. I plan to take more than my fair share.
High Profits, Sunday night at 10 Eastern on CNN.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Does your dog or cat suffer with joint disorders, arthritis, anxiety, cancer, chronic pain, or other ailments? Hemp or cannabis-based medicinal products are now legal. Why should your pets go without the same options that we have available? Try Sativus, a daily hemp oil with CBD. Sativus is quality inspected and made in the USA. Easy-to-use drops are applied directly to your pet's food. For your pet's wellness, try Sativus Drops. Ask for Sativus at your local pet store or learn more at petpain.com.
You know, it's not easy out there, but it can be easier. And when it comes to medical marijuana in Michigan and chronic pain management, Dr. Bob Townsend, renowned for his patient advocacy and deep understanding of how patients and medical marijuana certifications fit together, makes it his hallmark to educate and provide the best holistic treatment for your condition. His knowledgeable staff makes you feel warm and welcome, and Dr. Bob makes you feel well. With locations across the state in Cadillac and Gaylord, Kalamazoo, Marquette, Mount Pleasant, Muskegon, Saginaw, Traverse City, you can't beat the convenience and feeling you get knowing you have someone on your side that cares. Denali Healthcare is on the web at denalihealthcaremi.com. Get answers to your holistic health questions or schedule an appointment now by calling 989-339-4464. Chronic pain management and holistic health answers is what they do. It's all they do. DenaliHealthcareMI.com. Get your certification and peace of mind now by making an appointment with Dr. Bob Townsend at 989-339-4464.
With this warmer weather, I get more active. Headaches and pains keep me from doing things I enjoy, like golfing and working outside my yard. Toledo Hemp Center's new location, 1415 Sylvania Avenue, has shown me there is an alternative to pharmaceutical drugs. I use CBD, cannabidiol, infused hemp lotions, oral sprays, and topical oils. Thank you, Toledo Hemp Center, for helping me restore and maintain my health with no side effects and no high. Find out more at ToledoHempCenter.com.
Get inside!
It's the Full Melt Radio Show. So the idea is you climb in a plane wherever you're at. Could be in Canada, could be Mexico. It could really be anywhere, because you don't have to be a state resident in Colorado to use the marijuana. All you got to do is fly in. The question is, once you get there, where's everything at, and how do you find stuff? Hopefully, we'll get an answer from that. Welcome to the program, Eric Pine. Hello, Eric.
Hello, Steve.
So, tell me, what is the name of the tour company that you have?
Our name is Green Trips, spelled TRIPZ, and you can find us at greentrips.com.
So, this is a fascinating subject to me, and I think to much of the country. Be very interested in finding out what got you into this. What made you think about doing this?
Well, I've enjoyed cannabis for most of my life, and on January 1st, 2014, was watching CNN, actually, and saw a story about how cannabis was newly legal for all adults over 21, and I thought, I have to be in this business. This is exciting, and it is the wave of the future, and I have to be a part of it.
So it's just kind of in the blood. You felt it calling you, so to speak.
Absolutely.
I feel much akin to that, because radio is like that for me. Radio called me when I was a 14-year-old kid, and I came a-running. Here I am, 48 years old, and, the story tells itself. Hopefully you'll be able to say the same thing.
I hope so.
Now, in this calling, did you have some hospitality training before? Or did you understand the hospitality industry very well before you got involved?
No, not at all. I understood marijuana and understood how popular it is and how much it's enjoyed by many people. And
so you understood the culture.
Into the culture. I mean, I'm not heavy into the culture. I just enjoy it as many people enjoy, a drink at a bar or anything like that. And I feel like there's really no difference between cannabis use or alcohol use. In fact, I'd probably say cannabis use is even safer and better for you.
Were you concerned that there would be a lot of competition in this arena, that you'd have to compete against other people that maybe knew the turf better than you?
Yes, and there is competition, but we're focused kind of in a unique niche in that it's focused on the tourists looking to come to Colorado and eventually to Washington to enjoy what they can't in their home state.
Now, on your website, it mentions stuff that you will do when you're on the tour, or that you can do when you're on one of your tours, and then stuff that you definitely won't be doing.
Yes.
I like that because it almost the reason that I asked you if you've been involved in the hospitality industry before is because it seems that your company is very hospitable. I mean, you seem to understand that people want to come and relax. They want details taken care of. I'm spending a lot of money here. I'm taking a week vacation, and take my hand and pull me through the tour. So it's interesting that tell us about what you won't be doing.
Well, there are a few tour companies, and some of them have big bus tours, typically on Saturdays, where there's about 30 people on a bus taken around from dispensary to another, and bus full of smoke, and with a tour guide and everything, and that's not.
So
well, that's fun for some people.
You're mixed. What
kind of aspect?
Just to clear it up, you're saying you're mixed in with a bunch of other people that are on the same tour as you, but you don't know them.
Correct.
And so they're on a bus. They're all smoking. Is there an issue with smoking? It seems like in all the promotional stuff that I saw, everybody smokes like on the bus or at a venue, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's typically the way it is. And what I was going to say is that, we tailor our tours towards the people that are more interested in privacy and discretion.
Right.
We do private tours, so we use stretch limousines, luxury limousines, and pick people up from their hotel or the airport, take them on the tour. The driver is also the guide, and the driver will be involved as much as the people want. So some people want a lot of hand-holding, a lot of banter back and forth. Some people want to close the privacy partition and be left alone, and that's entirely up to them. So it's kind of different than the big bus tour. There's no corny tour group jokes or anything like that. It's very personal.
See, and that's what I liked. That's what I liked about the difference between yourself and some of the other offerings. It seemed like a lot of the other offerings had no privacy involved at all. This was all, hey, this is when we go. Climb on board. You better get here. Here's where we're at. I don't know where you're going to park or how much it's going to cost or if it's even available. A lot of these questions and details are the things that hospitality is designed to overcome, isn't it?
It is, and who wants to drive home after that? I mean,
right.
We're going to take you back to your hotel, and you can go relax without having to drive.
So tell us on a typical tour what somebody might expect. I call you up, and I say I'm coming in on the 13th. Well, we'll pick another date. Well, I'm coming in on the 17th, and what's going to happen? I've got some packages available. What can I do?
Yeah, so the typical tour is, we pick people up and get them quickly to a dispensary so that they can get their party on as soon as possible. And we're going to go to the best dispensaries in Denver. There's a wide array of dispensaries. Some are very big and have a lot of selection. Others are kind of like shacks on the side of the road. So we go to the big places. They have a lot of selection, very tourist-friendly type of bud tenders that are willing to answer our clients' questions and not make them feel stupid or anything, because a lot of these people, it's their first time. It's their first experience.
There is no stupid question. There is no stupid question, is there? There isn't a stupid question, is there?
No, there isn't. There isn't. But, we want to make sure that we're going to places that cater to our tourist type of client.
And it seemed like you could modify a basic tour package. Like if you wanted to go to a particular place, you could ask to have that thrown in, and would there be an additional charge if I had to stop at a particular, say a wedding chapel or, some particular thing of interest that was in the area? Is that something I could do, or is that off the menu?
We will go anywhere our clients ask us to take them during the time that they've paid for. So some of them, we really go at their taste. So some of them want to get to as many stores as they can and buy as much product they can and check out different stores. Others want to just go to one pot shop, get some stuff, and get back in the limo and just cruise around for few hours, and
and see the Denver
whatever
sights.
they want is what we do. We take them on scenic drives. We take them, sometimes they want to go to restaurants or a brewery or something.
So they're buying time. They're buying the time, basically.
That's right. I mean, they're buying the time. If they don't tell us any differently, our standard itinerary will get them through 3 hours, or 4 hours. If they don't say a word, we will get them to the right places where they need to go, and they'll be able to experience the industry and everything new with the legal cannabis industry in Denver. If they have specific places they want to go, they're welcome to tell us. Or often they'll change things on the fly. They feel like now they just want to go get a snack or something and cruise around. That's up to them. But we're very flexible, and their comfort and relaxation is really our focus.
You ever seen this? You ever seen the Sleep Number mattress? See, I see you guys as like the Sleep Number mattress of the tourism industry. Yeah, I dial it up, I dial it down. Hey, whatever I want to do.
Yeah, we try to be like that because it's not one size fits all. That's for sure. Also on the site, we help people find accommodations that are 420 friendly. And we work with a couple of properties that are smaller, privately owned properties that are fully 420 friendly. One of them is the Bud and Breakfast. That's a popular place. And they are a bed and breakfast that's 420 friendly. So we book rooms for them. We also have a full hotel directory of places with smoking rooms and balconies. So we help people find a room and a ride and their weed.
It's very interesting that you mentioned Bud and Breakfast because we're going to have the Joel Schneider from Bud and Breakfast on immediately following you. Listen, we're running short on the segment, but I didn't want us to, because when the music pops up, there's like 30 seconds left to talk, and I didn't want to cut you out of an opportunity to say what you wanted about your company and about how people can find you and give out your phone number, that kind of thing. I think that's kind of important. So why don't we do that now, and then we'll let the music catch up with us later.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Okay, so the phone number is 720-588-3440, and the website is greentrips.com, and it's TRIPZ.com.
All right, and so I can select packages up there on the internet. It's easy to see them. Do I purchase these in advance before I get my plane ticket? Is that how it works?
Either or, we can turn things around even the day of sometimes, or you can book them a year in advance, whatever is easier for you. We also do bachelor parties, trips to the casino, trips to the ski resort, anything where you would need a 420 friendly ride.
Let me just tell you, I've only had the chance to be around Colorado and specifically Denver and Aurora and Colorado Springs once. And it's a trip I'll never forget. One of the most scenic rides I've ever had. And I was stuffed in the back of a van and way underdressed for the weather. So I still love the hell out of it. Just wanted to put that in there for people who've never been to Colorado or Denver specifically, because it's a beautiful area. Oh, my God, it's so gorgeous.
It is so beautiful, and that's true. The weather can change in a minute, but it's definitely something to see.
Eric Pines from what's the name? I pulled it off again.
Green Trips.
Green Trips. I was going to say I was trying to mix two things together. Greentrips.com. That's TRIPZ. Yes.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for coming on the program, Eric.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. So, marijuana tourism is what we're talking about, and coming up just after the break, which is going to roll up here shortly. Normally, that music rolls up behind us, and we run out of time. Luckily, we didn't do that this time. So we'll talk with Joel Schneider, and Joel's got an interest. Now, he was at the beginning of the program. He was featured with the 60 Minutes overtime piece, and so we heard a little bit about this place, Buds and Breakfast, and it seems like they work with the people at the website that Eric runs. And so if you wanted to check out the people at Green Trips and get to the place that we're going to talk to next over at Buds and Breakfast, they have a whole, they have a more fancy name, but that's how everybody knows them by, is Buds and Breakfast. because it's a bed and breakfast tie-in. But it's a specialty bed and breakfast. And this looks like it's a three-star hotel or a three-star accommodations. It's not really a hotel. It is a bed and breakfast, Bud style. And so very interested I haven't talked to Joel yet. I did talk to Eric earlier in the day. I've corresponded with Joel, but I haven't talked to him yet. And it'll be interesting to kind of see what it is that people look for in accommodations and what people do for accommodations and what they can't do for accommodations. Or is there anything you can't do for accommodations? Because when you're looking at hospitality, that's what you want to do. You want to kick back and relax and know what you can expect. So if you want to get involved with the program today, and you got a question about accommodations or about touring, if you're interested in the tourism idea, 844-420-TALK is the number to call. It's a toll-free line, 844-420-TALK. Now, when you're talking about marijuana hospitality, like I said, there's some 20 or better companies to pick from. And so this is really going to be a trial and error thing. I would think in the long run, if you're going to do this, you might have to go through and toggle through a couple of places and ask some questions. There was an interesting thing that I saw. It was like the very high end. And I don't know if I was unable to get a hold of the individuals that run this thing. But there was an advertisement for a very high-end private jet setting. I think it was $38,000 per couple. And they would pick you up in a private jet and do much of the same that Eric was talking about in hospitality, but at the very high end. And literally at the very high end. And I suppose that would bring a new meaning to the whole term, the Mile High Club. I had to throw that in there because anecdotally it is punny, but it is also true. I mean, it's exactly what the Mile High Club would be if you happen to be, well, I guess if you're in Denver, you're already in the Mile High Club, aren't you? If you got on a plane, you'd be in the 2 Mile High Club. Think about that one. So Buds and Breakfast, getting ready to talk to Joel Schneider. I'll get him on the phone during the break. Again, if you want to get involved with the conversation, I'm sure you got questions. 844-420-TALK. Toll free, you've got it on the Full Melt Show. Stand by.
You're getting the Full Melt.
It started with Weed 1.
Some have called it a watershed moment.
Then came Weed 2.
It's absurd that we would have to do this to get medicine.
Now Dr. Sanjay Gupta is at it again, and he's reaching higher than ever with Weed 3.
I never thought I would be smoking weed in the hospital.
The movement behind it.
We demand this plant go through the process of the FDA.
The radical research.
I have to say, I'm kind of stunned.
Weed 3, the marijuana revolution.
Each week, Pot Pitch takes a look at different medical or legal pot business as they attempt to seek investment capital and partners in order to take their business to the next level. What do investors like?
And which entrepreneurs are shown the door?
Real venture capitalists, smart entrepreneurs, and exciting business models in a brand new industry. Cannabis. Pot Pitch. Find out what this new marijuana industry will look like and who its players will be. Real deals, real people, real decisions. Pot Pitch at potpitch.com and featured on the Full Melt Radio Show.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at canalock.com. Visit canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
With this warmer weather, I get more active. Headaches and pains keep me from doing things I enjoy, like golfing and working outside my yard. Toledo Hemp Center's new location, 1415 Sylvania Avenue, has shown me there is an alternative to pharmaceutical drugs. I use CBD, cannabidiol, infused hemp lotions, oral sprays, and topical oils. Thank you, Toledo Hemp Center, for helping me restore and maintain my health with no side effects and no high. Find out more at ToledoHempCenter.com.
Does your dog or cat suffer with joint disorders, arthritis, anxiety, cancer, chronic pain, or other ailments, hemp or cannabis-based medicinal products are now legal. Why should your pets go without the same options that we have available? Try Sativus, a daily hemp oil with CBD. Sativus is quality inspected and made in the USA. Easy-to-use drops are applied directly to your pet's food. For your pet's wellness, try Sativus drops. Ask for Sativus at your local pet store or learn more at petpain.com.
So this is Brian Rogers
and Caitlin McGuire
from CNN's High Profit.
And you're listening to The Full Melt Show.
That you are. And, the subject today, what we're talking about is marijuana tourism. It seems to me there's a lot of it going on in Colorado. It's something I didn't ask of our former guests. I should have asked Eric how many customers do they have in an average week. That would be an interesting thing to know. Right now on the program from Buds and Breakfast, is it a Buds and Breakfast? Is that right, Joel Schneider?
No, it's Bud and Breakfast. I'm the CEO of the Mary Jane Group that operates the Bud and Breakfast.
Okay, Bud and Breakfast. So this is one place, right? This is one building?
No, we have two facilities. We have one in Denver that's a 6-bedroom bed and breakfast, and then we have one in Silverthorne, which is equidistant to Copper Mountain, Keystone, A-Basin, Loveland, and Breckenridge, and that's our second establishment. And we're actually looking to open up additional ones. But right now we have two locations, one in Denver and one in Silverthorne.
I got to ask you, how's business? How's things going?
We have exceeded Colorado as well as Denver occupancy rates. Our rates are traditionally higher than the rates charged by a typical hotel. And the reason being is we're cannabis friendly, but we're not just cannabis friendly, we're cannabis social. And that means we expect our guests and we implore upon our guests to smoke together, to enjoy the experience of cannabis, and not just smoke it by yourself, but to be social and engage and educate one another, and that's what we're all about.
Joel, it seems like a lot of people across the country are used to ducking their heads when they pull out the bag. Do you still see people that kind of are like closeted, that kind of like, whoa, well, I'm just going to smoke in my room, is that okay?
Well, the people that check in with us, first of all, the first thing is a mind-blowing experience, because we don't want you smoking in the room. We actually prohibit you from smoking in the room.
Okay.
Where you smoke is in the living room, in the dining room, in the patio, in the front living room. It's about living at home. It's about being in your own house. It's about being with your family. It's about being with your friends. It's about what cannabis is meant to be. I'm 55, but I've smoked for 41 years, and it's about the social aspect. So what we're trying to create is education, is social. It's about being with others and not being by yourself and hiding.
Now, this is not something you could expect if you checked into the local, national brand establishment, correct? There's going to be some different rules there.
Well, there is no other hotel like us. The national brands cater to children and families with children. They cater to the business traveler. Well, we cater to the cannabis traveler.
And there seems to be a lot of them. You just said that you've exceeded occupancy rates of some of your colleagues in the industry. Can you give us an idea on what rates might be? Is that something you want to talk about?
The rates here in Denver are $299 for our cheapest rooms, $349 for the mid-level rooms, and $399 for our most expensive suites. And that includes a $420 happy hour. It includes a wake and bake breakfast.
Tell us about the wake and bake breakfast.
Well, the wake and bake breakfast starts at 8:30 and goes till 10 o'clock, and that's where our guests sit around and talk about the night before, and they talk about the day, and they all smoke together. Down in Denver, we don't offer a bud bar. In Silverthorne, we do offer a bud bar, and it's really solely for people to share and get acclimated. And during breakfast, they smoke their sativas, and they get stoned, and they plan their days out together. It's a unique thing, but we put out a buffet of beautiful food for anywhere from stuffed French toast to frittatas to, of course, your typical continental. and our guests basically sit around for an hour and a half talking about and getting high at the same time. It's a beautiful thing.
Listen, I wanted to make sure if I wanted to climb aboard the Bud and Breakfast train, so to speak, if I wanted to get involved, what do I got to do? Is there a website that I go to? Do I call you up, or do I do this like a standard hotel? How does this work?
No, you go to our websites, one Bud and Be Fast. That's Bud, B-U-D, and Be Fast, BFAST.com, or the Mary Jane, GRP.com. And you'll see both our facilities located on both the websites. And you go right into our reservation system, and you book just like a typical hotel. You can book online, or if you'd like, you can call the hotels, and one of my hostesses at either location will take care of your every need.
Now, do you work with other establishments? Are you on a tour, so to speak? Do people want to come and see the Bud and Breakfast tour?
Well, we try to keep privacy to our guests. But what we do offer is we have relationships with all the tour companies, including Green Trips and including the other tour companies here in town. So we arrange for our guests to go on tour. We don't specifically open our doors. You know, we're about privacy and security, safety. We don't, you know, our guests, it's exclusive. What we offer is exclusivity. There's only 6 rooms available here in Denver and 4 rooms in Silverthorne. And what you get is really what you want. And that means it's the freedom to utilize cannabis in the way you've expected to do it. And here in Denver, you know, there's edibles, there's concentrates, which are dabbing and the like. And my staff will educate you and provide you with all the paraphernalia and accoutrements necessary for you to actually, you know, engage in that activity if that's what you so desire.
Were you expecting that 60 Minutes would come knocking on your door a year ago?
I got to tell you, Steve, no, you know, I thought I was coming out. This would seem natural to me. I was staying in a hotel, putting a towel under the door, so it just seemed like that you know, a hotel was necessary, a bed and breakfast, something that would really cater to the cannabis smoker in the correct way. So I just, you know, looked at it as an business opportunity, not so much that I was going to achieve this much publicity, but I'll accept it.
Hey, if 60 Minutes comes knocking, unless they're chasing you to knock you over the head, you open the door, right?
Absolutely. You know, it's we've done a lot. We actually will be in the Guardian on Wednesday. We did a news story with them. We've done a lot of media, and you know, it's nice in light of the fact that the world has made it difficult for companies like mine to advertise.
Certainly,
so I don't have the typical Google ads or Facebook likes. I can't buy those things. It's not available to the cannabis industry. So, you know, I'll take as much free press as I can.
Yes, absolutely. Because I wouldn't have known about you if they hadn't knocked on your door. I really, honestly would not have found you.
Well, that's unfortunate. That just means my IT people aren't doing a good enough job. I'll have to talk to them tomorrow morning. But, you know, we're doing our best to promote the brand. And we really believe that Bud and Breakfast is something not just, you know, solely here, but can be available in other states. And we're looking at other lodging opportunities because we ultimately look at ourselves not as just a simple Bud and Breakfast, but as the preeminent brand in the canna lodging, canna hospitality space. And if that means MMJ care facilities, medical facilities that we can partner with doctors, if that means opening up motels, hotels, or as we are planning for this summer, Canna Camp, which will be an all-inclusive cannabis camp that will provide education, will provide events, will provide activities for the cannabis smoker in a 172-acre ranch in southwest Colorado. And
so
we're planning to open.
This is true camping then?
Well, no, we're not putting in tents. We're putting in luxury cabins. They're either 2-bedroom with, well, they're actually all going to be 2 bedrooms because we're going to take out the 3rd bedroom and the larger ones. And so our guests can have the ultimate comfort. It has a lodge. We offer three meals a day. There's a huge 1,000-acre lake within a quarter of a mile that our guests will be able to canoe and kayak and rowboat and you know, we'll have a pontoon boat for our cannabis cruises at night. And yeah, so we're trying to really bring the this entire activity of cannabis, all inclusive, into one resort. We'll have fishing ponds on they exist already. We have a pool, a hot tub. It's really going to be a bucket list experience.
And this is something that's yet to come this summer?
We announced it on Monday of last week. My staff and I'm actually watching two of my staff members working out the menus for the week, but we've already scheduled all the activities, and we're going to actually start taking bookings as early as Wednesday. We're literally going to hire a drone service to take pictures, aerial pictures of the place. It's going to be amazing. It's really a cool place. I've been there a couple times already. I was there all weekend, and let me tell you something. If it was me doing this, I would certainly be a guest.
I've got to ask you the same thing I asked Eric. Were you ever involved? Because you're not from Colorado, right? You're from out of state originally?
I'm a New Yorker. I've practiced securities law for the better part of 30 years. Never liked it, but paid the bills and put my kids through college doing it. And I saw this as an opportunity. I've been watching the cannabis space since 2009, 2010. Had been out here several times to try to get in. And when it became legal in January of 2014, I looked at it from my personal life, and that was always providing a place for someone to smoke. And it's always been available through my entire life, as in college, as in child raising. I mean, it wasn't done in front of my kids, but we always had a big enough property that we could do it where we needed to do it. And I just felt that coming out here, I wanted to be in the tourism, the social aspect. I consider myself the tent guy.
Wow.
There are fix and axe guys. There's the actual guys that mine, which would be the growers and the dispensaries. And I'm just a tent guy. I'm going to give you a roof.
Listen, we're getting ready to go to break. Joel Schneider, I have to thank you for coming on the program. Congratulations on your 5-star experience. I'm excited for you. That's Buds and B-Fast.
Bud and breakfast. B-U-D and breakfast, Steve. B-U-D and breakfast.
Gotcha.
We're not in the plural. No, it's important. It's important. When you develop a trade name or trademark, you have to stick to it.
We're off into break.
It was my pleasure, Steve, and I enjoyed it, and hope to do it again sometime.
Thank you, Joel.
Take it easy.
Venture capitalists, smart entrepreneurs, and exciting business models in a brand new industry, cannabis. Pot Pitch. Find out what this new marijuana industry will look like and who its players will be. Real deals, real people, real decisions. Pot Pitch at potpitch.com and featured on the Full Melt Radio Show.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at canalock.com. Visit canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Imagine a world where patients can use marijuana like any other medicine. The Marijuana Patients Organization challenges the status quo by helping our neighbors to enjoy a better quality of life. Visit the MPO at marijuanapatients.org and enjoy informative articles, engaging debates, and information about treatments, doctors, and dispensaries in your area. Over 50,000 people have registered at marijuanapatients.org since 2010. Join us at the Marijuana Patients Organization today, marijuanapatients.org.
It started with Weed 1.
Some have called it a watershed moment.
Then came Weed 2.
It's absurd that we would have to do this to get medicine.
Now Dr. Sanjay Gupta is at it again, and he's reaching higher than ever with Weed 3.
I never thought I would be smoking weed in the hospital.
The movement behind it.
We demand this plant go through the process of the FDA.
The radical research.
I have to say I'm kind of stunned.
Weed 3, the marijuana revolution.
They're parasites. They've got no contribution to this society. They're preying on our community and our kids. It's going to end badly.
We've got exactly $100,000 in cash in the back of this car. I bet there's guys right there in that prison for doing just what we're about to do.
I want the Breckenridge Cannabis Club to be a household name.
This is us pioneering a new industry.
He's going after every resort town in Colorado. His plan is brilliant.
this is a big boy operation now.
We are not the Amsterdam of the Rockies. We're Breckenridge.
Absolutely unbelievable to us that this has happened so quickly.
That's when the town erupted.
All hell can break loose.
I think we have an image to protect.
The powerful elite has definitely put the pressure on.
Everyone is playing everyone.
They're going to have a target painted on their back.
That is a real threat.
There's $2 billion to be had next year. I plan to take more than my fair share.
High Profits, Sunday night at 10 Eastern on CNN. It's the Full Melt radio show. So you can reach us here every Monday through Friday from 7 until 8 p.m. Eastern Time on thefullmelt.com. You get a chance at the top of the page. There's a Spreaker button. There's a Spreaker link. Click through there or follow through the Spreaker site and like and follow us there. Also, a Facebook and a Twitter link. Click on those, follow us, like us, enjoy the product we bring to you on a daily basis. Look, I just wanted to make sure I got everything right for these guys. Greentrips.com. Eric was on the show, Eric Pine, talking about his establishment that does marijuana tourism. It's GREENTRIPZ.com. And then Joel Schneider, I wanted to make sure I got that right because it seems like I screwed it up. I said buds. It's not buds. It's budandbefast.com. Bud and A-N-D, befast.com. I just wanted to make sure I got that right for them. It seems like it's something I got to do. Every time I go out and travel, I'm always with the show. So I've got all kinds of stuff to wrangle and details to make sure clearance. I got all this stuff to do. I sure would like to just go to the airport, fly off to where I'm going to go, have my concierge standing there with a sign that says Steve Green. I'll walk over to the sign, get into the vehicle, and have him take me off into tourism land of marijuana. How fun and cool would that be? And then if I happened to make a reservation at the Bud and Breakfast, they'll know right where to go. Take me there and drop me off at the end of my tour, whatever I so choose it shall be. How cool. I mean, look, there's not people that do this well in the regular service industry. It's fascinating that people would specialize to marijuana. People who've never been involved with the hospitality industry before. People who've never been involved with restauranting or with, look, this is a 5-star place, this Bud and Breakfast. I don't know who's issuing the stars. But I'll tell you what, from what I could see of the photographs and the display they put out on 60 Minutes, the 60 Minutes overtime piece that I played a segment of at the beginning of this program, the food looked absolutely exquisite. It looked like it was prepared by a highly trained chef. It looked delicious. There were little dishes of, 3 kinds of cannabis, like a sativa, a hybrid, and an indica. And Joel was telling you about how people gather around the breakfast table and sit with each other and smoke the sativa with their breakfast, or before or after, maybe some during. I don't know. And then they've got the indica for later. They got the hybrid in the middle if they want to play with that for a minute. The end of the day, it's nice to have a little indica to go night with. Just saying. Love the idea of being able to travel and enjoy my travel for what I wanted it to be instead of, look, here's just a tip for people who go on vacation. Try and plan as little as possible. It's important that if you got to get something in, 1 or 2 things that you're paying to do, make sure you do those. But try not to overplan your vacation. It's just a lot more relaxing. Let it happen as it happens. Choose to go as the wind goes. Whatever your desire is at the moment, don't feel pressured by the idea that you got to be here by such and such a clock. It's just a lot better thing. And it seems like some of these hospitality industries, or the hospitality services in this industry, this highly specialized industry, are really wrapped around catering to that ideal. Make it what you want. Enjoy it for what it is. Isn't that what cannabis is about in the first place? Enjoyment. So a couple of things, a couple of program notes. You heard maybe during one of the commercial segments this idea of pot pitch. So I thought it would be a great idea to have a program segment on the show that took industry and entrepreneurs, or at least the money people and the entrepreneurs that create the industry, and connect them together. much like you'd seen on television with some other programming, where people pitch their ideas to people with money, and then the people with the money decide whether or not their idea is good enough to invest in. There is a particular need for this in the marijuana industry. So if you go to potpitch.com and check it out, this is the seedling idea for a program that is going to be just that, a takeoff from that idea, connecting people with money who want to invest in cannabis-related industry and connect them to the entrepreneurs who've developed a product or a service, some kind of business that they'd like to pitch to professionals to help them bring their business to the next level. And so over at Pot Pitch, they're going to be working on that, that whole thing. And you'll be able to see some presentations of that in the coming future. And we'll have a mini version of those pitches during segments, as a routine here on this program, if everything goes as planned. And usually they have been. So, looking forward to that. Also, some coming things. I'm working on trying to get out at the C2 Expo. There's a C2 Expo that's happening locally here. It's a counterculture expo. And what I like, and the reason I'm bringing this up, because I normally don't always talk about our live broadcasts, because they're in addition usually to our existing Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time thing. But the C2 Expo is a chance, an opportunity, because it's not just a marijuana-related expo. It's C2 is counterculture. That would include like the tattoo people. It would include body modification, the piercing people. It would include things like bikers. All the people that you would consider part of the counterculture have a stake and an interest in this venue. And so I like this in the respect that it might give us, if we go out there to do a live broadcast, an opportunity. And even if we don't, I like the idea that the marijuana community is being exposed to other segments of the regular population, because it's all about truth and sharing the wealth and the knowledge of what is cannabis and what is not cannabis. There are a lot of strange ideals about what cannabis is and what cannabis is not. And at the beginning of the program, we were talking about that as it relates to Washington State. I mean, for crying out loud, if I was a medical patient in Washington State and I didn't grow myself and I didn't have somebody growing it for me and I didn't have a collective, which is really most of the case. That's more often the case than not, in my experience. And if I was now forced to watch the place that I've gone to for the past, I don't know how many years, to get safe access to my medicine, because I'm reliant upon this as a patient. This isn't just casual getting stoned for somebody like that. I would be really upset if that place closed and I had to now drive 60 miles out of town to find the next retail cannabis shop, because they've only ordered closed with this new law the medical marijuana establishments, which, a lot of communities allowed. A lot of these same communities did not allow retail cannabis across the state in Washington. They said no to those places. And so now that the governor and the legislature in Washington is going to close down those medical establishments, they're going to force those people to go either to the black market, which is what this was about eliminating in the first place, was it not? Or to drive an extended distance away to access that medication. And that to me is bothersome. But it's also part of the argument. It's part of the political play, because this is all politics, isn't it? And all politics is local, it was famously said. It's absolutely true. There's national implications. You got the federal government and their angle on this. It's slowly being ticked away at, isn't it? That's the foundation upon which that crap sits is rotting away. It's being chipped away, gnawed at the base until that platform falls over. And so I would maintain that anybody that still resides on that platform, that still is in the prohibitionist place, to watch out, because the foundation on which you exist is about to erode away. It has nothing to do with morality. It has nothing to do with kids. It has nothing to do with all of these popular notions that prohibitionists would like to throw in the way. Because prohibitionists are about social control and mostly bigotry, if it really comes down to it. When you whittle it all away and peel away the layers of the onion, that's what it's about. Watch out, because it's all about to change. Join us tomorrow for another awesome episode of The Full Melt Show, live from 7 until 8 p.m. on Tuesday.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media.